Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
City.
Yep.
Exeter City.
Exeter City.
Good. We're on the same page. We won.
1-0.
1-0. The last time that you heard from us, listeners.
0-1.
0-1. We were getting ready for an away trip to Hartlepool.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we haven't done that, have we?
We'll talk about that in a minute because that wasn't so good. But Saturday just gone, we went to Salford City, Gary Neville's back garden. He's built a ground for pets, mainly.
Not just Gary.
Oh no, Philip.
All the other lads.
Paul.
Yeah.
David.
Robbie Savage.
Is he involved?
I don't know.
Ryan Giggs.
Yeah.
Norman Whiteside.
Simon Davies.
Sean. No, that's not his name.
Keith
Anyway,
Gillespie.
Keith Gillespie was there, but nevertheless, Exeter City won 1-0. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Really great win.
Like 700 odd City fans travelled up. We weren't among them.
No, we weren't.
Busy boys, aren't we? But however, it looked like an absolute grinding out, didn't it?
It did, but the supporters outnumbered them. Oh, not outnumbered, but really brilliant away support in a crowd of just over 2,000. City took 700.
Yeah. I saw they had the drum confiscated at half time.
So that they weren't allowed to go and get cups of tea, apparently.
I mean, come on, lads. Don't let them in with the drum. Don't let them have the drum full the first half and then take it away.
Isn't Manchester
just because you're losing?
Do you think that's what happened?
Little slugs.
Yeah, absolute musical instrument confiscator slugs.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd be used to like big football matches in Manchester? Apparently not. They're not used to when Exeter City arrive.
Yeah, right.
So Bowman got a beautiful headed goal.
Didn't he?
Really great. That's what we want from him. That's what we need from him. That's what we absolutely yearn.
It's what he wanted for him too. I think after last week when he looked beside himself to not be on the score sheet, so he'll be pleased, won't he? Lovely ball in, Pierce Sweeney.
Yeah.
I think his little pass to, I think it's Parks who passes it to Sweeney. Obviously, they're kind of operating the. Was Parks kind of right-hand side of the defence? We're not really sure how they set up exactly, but I think it was a Parks ball to Sweeney and then a lovely cross straight onto Sweeney's.
Bowman's.
Onto Bowman's enormous, gigantic, normal-sized head.
The triple B, Bowman's big Bonce.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Put it in the corner where the keeper couldn't get nothing on it.
Yeah, Alex Fisher had a pretty good chance before that as well. We were kind of turning the screw, as they say, like early on. A couple of good balls in from Williams, and one of them that Fisher just kind of hit straight at the keeper. But we got I think we just pressured them early.
Yeah.
Competed for the first goal, got it, and then held them out, really, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Things. Absolutely.
And Maxted looked great in goal after some fairly shonky moments.
What can you say? It's like every week you can't we just have a day where we sort of go, Maxted, yeah, he's all right. No, I think we did actually. I think that was that last home game.
Well, yeah.
But
great for him to get some of those saves.
That second one's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Well worth watching, listeners, if you haven't seen it yet. So, another clean sheet. That's our 10th of the season. Just got a text, sorry. That's our 10th clean sheet of the season, which is massive.
That's also the second time we've got back-to-back away wins in the league.
Yeah, and that's 3 wins in a row in the league. Of course, there was a blip in the meantime, which we can basically ignore. I'm not talking about the elections, friends. I'm talking about our second round replay away at Hartlepool. 65 insane people went.
69, I believe.
69 insane people went all the way to Hartlepool on a Tuesday night, and Exeter City punished them thoroughly for bothering to turn out and support their team.
Yeah.
Not only did we lose...
This will show you.
90 minutes, 0-0, sounded like an absolute trudge fest.
Yeah.
We then tipped into extra time. We didn't get the excitement of penalties. All they got was a winning goal scored, I think, 2 minutes into extra time.
Yeah, straight away, wasn't it?
So that's an absolute nightmare, because then you've still got to wait out another 28 minutes. I believe they got home at about 5:30 a.m.
Blimey. I mean, it felt like punishment enough listening to it on the radio.
Yeah, I was sat on a nice sofa.
It was painful for various reasons. But yeah, imagine it. Imagine going. But I kind of think that's the kind of number of core fans, isn't it? And they'll go anywhere. It doesn't matter where it is or when it is. They're going. So fair play to them. They got themselves a little £20 gift voucher, which I think went down as a kind of thank you rather than a sorry for the performance, which is a very kind of clever sort of semantical. Is that word? Anyway, kind of
variation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got through on a technicality there.
What would you buy?
I would say I'd be like, no, we shouldn't be apologising to travelling support if you just go and lose 1-0 in extra time, even if they are one division lower than you.
Yes.
It's not that big a difference, and also it's not like they got battered 9-0.
No, so they weren't apologising; they were thanking.
Just thanks for coming.
If you had a £20 gift voucher for the club shop, what would you buy?
Well, I would double down by using my Big Bang Theory discount code, and then I would buy a home shirt, I suppose. I haven't got one of them. Haven't had one for many a year.
So you'd crank it up. You put some extra cash in.
No, yeah, I think I would put it towards I don't know what I get. What have they got? What have they got in there?
I tell you what I'd get.
Jigsaw?
I'd get a seat cover for my car.
Oh, really?
That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
You haven't got a car, but you could pretend.
Can you get duvet covers?
I don't think you can get duvet covers. I'd love a duvet cover.
I like I said, that's straight off the dome, and I've just come up with that in 10 seconds. Do you want it? Do you want that?
We're available for consultation purposes. Ideas for merchandise.
They will have done them in the past, but I don't think they're currently doing them, are they? And that's not something I've gone in and gone like, ooh. That's just the first stupid thing that popped into my head.
You can get pyjamas now, but only for children. I mean, I'm not a big man, but,
Okay.
I'm not fitting into them. So I'd like to see pyjamas. I'd also like to see, real, classy items, like a smoking jacket, silk scarf.
Oh, I'd love that. Anyway, can we come back to this? Because I've realised that this is the point of the show where we're supposed to talk about actual football.
Oh, right, sorry. We got ahead of ourselves and talked nonsense early. Anyway, it weren't great.
Giving the listener the opportunity to switch off later on, safe in the knowledge that all the sort of sensible stuff has been said.
All right, well, let's get back to the sensible stuff.
So we're talking about Hartlepool. That was bad. Maxted, it's a weird goal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it looked like to me that Maxted could have just held an arm up and stopped it, but maybe it's just the angle. He seems to get lobbed but from very close and sort of beside him. Anyway, should we just I don't know, are we going to focus too much on this Hartlepool match? Or
well, let's gloss over it. So we didn't score.
It
looked like we couldn't score or create a chance. Much the same as that second half when they were at St James Park. But anyway, we're out of the cup. Whatever, it's done.
Yeah.
It was good to see the response. Because Salford, although they're not flying high or anything, they're not complete pushovers. So, no one really is in this league.
No,
so
especially
really
away
good.
from home, and considering we haven't been that good away.
Yeah.
I know that is now 2 in a row, but throughout the season, that's been a weaker kind of part.
And we've had a few games, haven't we, where a 1-0 was on the cards and then we threw it away.
Or when we just literally
pressure,
can't get that one goal.
Yeah.
So Bowman to take that one, that's really well played of him, because it didn't look like there was that many chances for us. Second half, it looked like it was kind of all Salford, and so it's lucky we took the chance when we did. And I think maybe there's that. There probably is a slight kind of hint in the back of Bowman's head, thinking, well, I know I seem to be essentially undroppable, but Fisher's worked his way into the team. Fair enough, alongside me. But then there's also Ben Seymour who's been playing really well. Nicky Jose's back on the bench. Didn't come on today. But yesterday. But, he got to be starting thinking, I've got to score to keep my place.
Yeah.
You'd think.
And also, you're a striker. You want to score, don't you?
Yeah.
It was good, really good to see that. And really well taken goal. There was no good fortune about that. That was just a great goal.
No. Yeah, Jake Taylor back in there too. That was good to see.
Yeah, a Jose on the bench is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Law started on the bench, am I right?
Yeah. Did Law even come on? I don't think he did.
Okay. So that's a different variation on the midfield, isn't it?
That also shows us that we can win without Nicky Law.
Yes,
which is something that I would kind of question, actually.
Indeed.
Because is the main kind of creative spot. But I think Collins and Asangana in the middle there is that's starting to look really good to me, I think. Now Atangana's like settled and is like seems to be getting back towards kind of like full fitness and kind of like worked out his kind of role in the team. It's I really think he's going to be a good player.
And a really helpful time.
He looks better and better, doesn't he? And he does everything you want, you know?
Yeah,
he's
does.
really... And same with Collins. Collins is really kind of like... He's doing it all in there, you know? He is creative. He can also pick up play, like break up play really well. And those two kind of... When we haven't got the ball, they work so hard. And Jake Taylor as well does this. They work so hard when we haven't got the ball. And I think that's really valuable kind of like couple of guys to have in there.
Absolutely. Now, Fisher's started picking up a few goals. Bowman scored again. That takes him to 6 for the season. That's more than he got last year.
Well, he's only here for half a season last year.
Still, I think that's... he'll feel like, oh, that's the thing that I've got over.
No, I think he should be... yeah, I agree. But he should be thinking, when I get to 12, then I'm level with last year, because that's only half a season.
But he's only played half a season this season, is what I mean.
He's on course for it.
He's on course for it. Bowman to get double figures, Fisher to get 5 or 6 or 7, and a Josie to come back in and get what we think he might do, which is pick up
2.
pick up several goals. Will be really
I really
helpful.
want to see him back in there, just for peace of mind, really, of thinking like we've got a squad, we've got attacking options.
Yeah.
Because now it looks like midfield and when they're all fit and not suspended, the defence looks like we've got some depth there, you know?
Yeah.
Gary Warren is, one of the best defenders. No, he's a good player, isn't he? You know, and like an experienced player, and he's not getting anywhere near the first team at the moment because we've got so many options there, and it's that can only be a good thing.
And I wonder what's going to be really key in all this is, of course, our drop off in form totally coincided with Lewis Ward getting injured.
Yeah, of course, we've got him to come back, haven't we?
We've got him to come back, and that could be really huge. Like to have those players coming in.
Yeah.
January. I always look on the X Web like predict the points for each month, and there's 5 games in December, and suddenly you're starting to think like, well, we've got 6 already, 6 from 6 in December, 3 more games to play,
2 at home.
2 at home. Actually, we could be looking at really pushing on December.
Yeah, there's not much further to push on, is it? We're second already.
No, that's right. And what's been really interesting, we'll talk about this in a bit, but is the gap that's starting to emerge. So, there have been seasons, haven't there, where 2nd to 14th, it's been like 1 point between it.
Well, we know how much things can change, especially in the second half of a season, like from, Tisdale's kind of big year when we...
went from rock bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was sort of after Christmas that even happened. I mean, we almost kind of got to the automatic places that season. So we know that anything can change, but it's looking like it's getting a bit kind of separated out, isn't it?
It is. So Swindon are kind of racing ahead currently, but we sit in second on 39 points, which is absolutely a lovely place to be. Behind us, there's 3 teams who've all played a game less, but also who all sit on the same points, if that makes sense. So Cheltenham and Crewe and Bradford play 1 game less than us, but they're 4 points behind us. So they can all win that game in hand and we still sit in second. Now, they probably won't catch up that game in hand for a while, so that's a really nice place to be. We can just knock on a bit. Swindon are 3 points ahead of us, and they're scoring kind of for fun, but, actually we're starting to get some goals. Yeah.
I mean, I know this is something that we've obviously banged on about all year, and everyone knows it, that the scoring of the goal, and you can see that now quite clearly with the goal difference. We're right up there in second place, but we've got
we've got the worst.
What is it, +6 or something?
We're +6, which is the worst of the top 9.
But we were also we've also got a pretty good defence as well. So we don't let in many goals. So to only have +6, it really just shows you, doesn't it? They didn't score many, but they do win. So I mean, ultimately, who am I to criticise? Matt Taylor's got it all worked out. Don't score many, still win everything.
It's worth saying this: we're 10 points clear of 10th place. So 7th is the last playoff place, obviously. But below that, there's Argyle and Colchester. Port Vale in 10th.
Sorry, who?
Colchester.
Yeah.
In 10th place, Port Vale on 29 points. So we are well in the promotion chase at this point in the season. The rest of the year will tell us where we're going to be next year. So Dan, happy Advent.
What? Oh, thanks.
Happy
December
Advent.
we're in, yeah.
We're in December. The games come thick and fast in December and into January. So we play Walsall at home this Saturday. Walsall, I think it's capital of Poland. So they got a long way to come. Then Newport are also at home on Boxing Day. And then we travel to Colchester on December 29th. And then we're at Forest Green on January the 1st.
Madness.
Absolute madness.
I'm just saying it's a good thing we've got a squad, isn't it? Because, if we come through those... If any League Two team can come through those, 4 games that quickly with their squad completely unscathed, I'll be,
What would you be
I'll give 'em
pleased
a
with?
round
Those
of
4 games.
applause.
What point count?
Okay, I'm going to take both those home wins.
Yeah.
And a result at Colchester.
Okay.
And, it could go either way with Forest Green. They're a bit...
They've dropped off quite a lot.
They really dropped off.
Yeah.
I would say I'll be pleased with 8 points out of that.
Okay.
But I would...
Yeah, I'd be delighted with 8 points.
Yeah.
If we come out unbeaten
Yeah.
out of those 4, that'd be incredible, wouldn't it?
But if we can get, anything more than that, obviously is great. Anything less, I think, if we lose any of them, I'd be a little bit
I think we're like
disappointed.
there's
We're
potential
fairly
for
likely,
losing.
aren't we? Yeah.
I think if we get 6, we'd think that was okay. Anyway, it's Walsall this Saturday, where... Well, it's interesting. They came down, didn't they, last year from League One?
Yep.
The last time we met them was when we were in League One, 2011. You'll like this. We beat them twice. 2-1 away, 4-2 at home. Nardiello scoring 3 in those 2 games.
At St James's Park?
He scored 2 at St James Park and 1 away.
Right, okay.
So,
yeah.
it seems like dim and distant, doesn't it now?
It really does.
So that was the last time we met them.
Good lad, wasn't he, Nardiello?
He was. We meet Walsall, though, in a slump, post-relegation slump, I guess. They sit in 17th. They're really struggling to score. They've got some good people involved. So they got that guy, Darryl Clark, manager, who was at Bristol Rovers for a long time previous.
Right.
You'll like who his assistant manager is.
Will I?
City legend Marcus Stewart.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, how long's he been there? Do you know this?
Well, Clark's only been there this season, so I think he came in with him.
All right, welcome home, Marcus.
Welcome home, Marcus. I mean, he played at a lot of clubs, didn't he?
I liked him too as well. So,
he was an absolute
I
codger, wasn't he?
Nardiello's not coming, is he? Nice to see both of them, but maybe he'll be there. Dan,
Maybe he will.
Dan, if you fancy it, I'll, chip in a couple of quid towards your ticket, and you can stand Well, actually, no, you can't stand with me, but
You wouldn't let Nardiello stand with you if he came along?
Oh, I don't know him. It would be awkward, wouldn't it?
Oh, right, fair enough. They've also, their goalkeeping coach is well-known, curious spelling person, former Birmingham City goalkeeper, Mike Taylor.
Oh, right, yeah, M-A-I-K.
M-A-I-K. Mike.
Mike, where's he from? Is he actually from Warsaw?
Oh, he might be, I don't know.
But then Taylor suggests that...
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's of mixed heritage. So Mike Taylor's their goalkeeping coach. So you'd think with that kind of backroom staff, they'd have been having a better season, but they're currently not.
That's some pedigree, isn't it?
Isn't it just? I can tell you this about them. They've only
Lower
scored...
league pedigree. I realise it's like, but...
They've scored 16 in 21 games.
That's bad. That's
bad.
even worse than us.
That's way worse than us.
So we could expect a goal fest coming on Saturday.
Their goals...
Should we play with no keepers? Would that make it better?
Might do. Just have a shot from the
Gentleman's
halfway,
agreement.
Be
no
loads
keepers.
of efforts from the halfway line, wouldn't it, if you play with no keepers?
Yeah.
If I remember playground football at all.
Moxie will play.
They've got Adebayo up front, who was at Stevenage last year.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
He's got 3. And then they've got Jack Clark, their centre-back. He's got 3. He moved over from Bristol Rovers with the manager, but he's still only got 3. So, yeah, I think they're struggling with goals. Their player you might remember from the Premier League is Danny Guthrie. Remember him for Newcastle?
Yes.
So he's in midfield for them. Not played a lot, but played a bit.
Okay.
So, I mean, really, they should be doing better.
Yeah.
We'll
Seems
see.
like they're living in the past to me.
Maybe they are. It's not been a good season for them so far. I'd love to see another Bowman, another Fisher, a nice 2-0. Maybe a Jose off the bench.
I was going to say that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Really would be.
I'll tell you who else needs a goal is Lee Martin.
Oh, doesn't he just desperately? Because our midfielders are starting to pick up goals here and there, or certainly function as the midfield should function. Fisher gets the odd goal. Bowman again. That's That's a couple of goals in the last few games.
Yeah, everything kind of goes through Law, doesn't it? In a roundabout way. When things are going well, it seems to mean he's playing well.
I could see Martin kind of disappearing though, if I'm honest. I could think if a Josie comes back in, Fisher's playing well as the kind of maybe another choice in that triangle.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I was quite
Ben Seymour, of course.
I was quite glad to see him sort of come, go back to kind of being an impact player for us.
Well, he was really good at...
Because I think that maybe is how he's most useful.
Yeah.
Because, just because of the way he plays, which is a little bit kind of erratic, but that can upset a tired defence. I think probably more so than one that's fresh and ready. You can just kind of deal with this weird,
energetic.
When like a fly is sort of flying around, buzzing around your head, and it's just like, it's annoying, isn't it? But then
you kind of got two settings.
It's not that bad. But if you're kind of in a bad mood anyway, a fly buzzing around, send you over the edge.
I don't know about you, but I go either two ways. Yeah, I totally sent over the edge by a buzzing fly, or I'm like Mick Dundee. That's a 90s reference for you listeners, who can literally catch a fly out of the sky.
I'm just if I'm in the right headspace, I'm just letting them land on me.
You're like a cow.
Yes, exactly like a cow. Just ignore him. Just go for it.
You're like able to take your mind to a higher plane.
Yeah, I've become one with the fly.
Yeah,
like Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Okay. Anyway, got any more stats over there?
Oh, it's funny you should ask, because no, that's all of them.
Okay.
No, I have got one more stat, or rather an interesting thing. They've got their goal scoring is actually second worst in the whole league.
Are we the worst?
No, Stevenage are the worst. We're definitely not the worst.
Okay, good.
I know your opinion is we're not scoring enough, and that's true.
No, I realise that I'm exaggerating it. Yeah.
Of the promotion hopefuls, we're struggling for goals the most, but
not scoring enough is a kind of paradoxical term, isn't it? Because by definition, we're in. If the season finishes tomorrow, we win.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
I think we all hope for goal fest, but you kind of can't have both. It's very hard to have both things: solid at the back, excellent going forwards. We've been clean, so 21 games played. We've been clean in the sheets. Half those games.
Clean in the sheets. Oh, that's that's good, isn't it?
I think that's really good.
Considering we've lost our number one keeper to
who's been brilliant,
broken arm.
Yeah, I
think Visser was injured as well at the weekend because he wasn't on the bench.
But maybe it was an excuse to have a Jose on the bench. I don't think a Jose was ever.
No, we had another keeper on there. I can't remember who it was. Like that young guy. Can't remember his name.
Well,
anyway,
I just think you're down on the goal scoring, and you're not wrong to be. But actually, it wouldn't take much more. It really wouldn't for us to.
No,
feel like
and this is a good opportunity. This little Christmas kind of 4 games in a month kind of job. For someone to put a little Bowman, I'm thinking, or perhaps a Jose, if he's at all ready to come back, and you assume he might play a part at some point in these 4 games. It's a chance for them to, get into a little bit of a goal-scoring run, isn't it? 4 games in, 2 weeks or whatever it is. So,
and we got some real fast, fit players among us, among the City squad.
Yeah,
Martin coming off the bench being a prime example. Although we've got 4 games, so's everyone else. Like, you hit that January, the first game or whatever, and you got some fast lads coming off the bench. Everyone else is going to be tired too. They're heavy pitches. I think this could be a real turning point for us. It also could, of course, go completely belly up. Everyone else could get 12 points and we get none, and we're slipping outside the playoff places. But
we don't look like we're about in danger of capitulating like that, do we? But you never know what can happen. But yeah,
I mean, if that Hartlepool,
I'd be more surprised by that than I would by us winning all 4 of them.
Yeah, that's right. And then we hit Forest Green 1st of January, and then because of our cup defeat. And I think also because of the replay, it means that you don't have the chance to organise whoever the other team is in time. Blah blah blah. We may well have 10 days off between Forest Green and the next game on the 11th. I think it is Cambridge, I believe. So that could be really helpful as well. Matt Taylor might send them on a holiday, team holiday.
Where
books out a row of chalets down Exmouth.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that, isn't it?
I'd rather stay at home.
Budley Salterton.
I'd rather stay at home than be sat there for 10 days in January.
Oh, yeah, right.
Or maybe it's, Qatar, Dubai.
I think this weekend just gone, and so just after Saturday was the, according to the radio commentary, was the sort of staff do for the players.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And I don't know if we're going to get to see anything, but... And I think we started the podcast after this happened last year. I think it was, this photo went out, like, at least semi-officially, but there was a photo of all the squad in fancy dress, and they were all dressed up as WWE...
Wrestlers.
/ WWF wrestlers.
I do remember.
And it was, some of them were magnificent. Off the top of my head, I can't remember really who anyone was.
Stockley was someone...
I think Nicky Law was one of the Dudley boys, or and I want to say right. Lee Holmes was Shawn Michaels. But other than that, I can't really remember who it was. But it's really good, So I wonder if we'll see anything from this year's.
So you think it's happened?
You never know. Apparently, according to the radio commentary, it was at the weekend. Yeah, after the game.
After the game.
We were in Manchester. You might as well do it there. It's a good place to go for a night out, isn't it?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's hope they all made it home in time for training today, and the match on Saturday.
Yeah, but you got to cut loose sometime, haven't you? You got to give them a little bit of.
Sure.
You got to keep that team spirit alive.
I mean, they'll be training on Christmas Day, won't they? So
yeah,
Yeah. Fair play. Okay.
Fair play.
Well, that was the upcoming games. I think, Walsall's a good one to have, and maybe this is the time when the forms kind of turn. That Hartlepool game, I can't really get my head round, because of course we had the Northampton win in between the two bad FA Cup games.
I know, yeah, it's strange.
But then also Hartlepool obviously really would have wanted it. I don't know.
And it is different, isn't it? You can kind of separate them. At least in my head, I do separate them out. So I'm kind of still thinking of as the league. When I think about the league, I think, we're doing great. And then I think, but I don't know, like, even though it was basically the same team, like the players, only a couple of changes, but...
I mean, there's loads going on there, isn't there? Like, in their mind, they're like, well, it's Oxford away. Like, that must be going on. I'm not saying they didn't want to win, but Hartlepool away, it's hard to kind of get your spirits up for it anyway, I'd imagine.
Yeah, especially after the,
terrible
the home
one,
which is, anyway, I think we have no choice but to move on from the FA Cup for another year. And
we're still in the leasing, of course.
We are. That's now
Ipswich, isn't it?
That's now Ipswich, and that's on a Saturday afternoon, isn't it? In 3 o'clock on a Saturday in March sometime, which means I think our home game with Crewe, I think it is now moved to a Tuesday night around.
Okay.
Or that game has been moved to early March, and the other one anyway. It's a Saturday at 3 o'clock, which is annoying, isn't it? Because
it means it gets our support.
I think are they trying to get people to go? Maybe like, come on, please come to the leasing.com.
I guess so.
Whereas, I will go probably, but
yeah, they obviously wanted to take it seriously. I mean, on the plus side,
but how can they expect us to take it seriously when it's essentially just like a way of letting Premier League teams like give their youth a run out at our expense?
So crap.
I know we'll get a bit of prize money and whatnot, so there is that, and we get to see Dino Visser playing goal, which is the gift that keeps on giving.
What will be interesting, I suppose, or not interesting, what will be beneficial is that's a home game, so that's another home game's worth of gates. Even if I think you split them, don't you, with the away team? But that might be 1,000 people's tickets extra.
Yep.
So that's 20 grand, isn't it, or somewhere around that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right though. It's hard not to feel taken advantage of. Is there some rule that we always get these they're always home games because we're the lower league?
I have no idea. It's not. We're not against one of these Premier League youth teams, are they? And they tend to go out, don't they? I think.
Yeah.
Because the lower league teams haven't got these big squads, so you have to kind of play your main team, and they're like much older and much more used to playing competitive games, so they can kind of blow the youth teams away.
We've never had Manchester United or Liverpool, have we? So
they're probably exempt, aren't they? I don't know.
So crap. Anyway, that's a thing that's still going on. You're right. We'll go to the Saturday, and I do like a Tuesday night in the spring.
Yeah,
and that'll probably get better. that'll definitely get better attendance than if the Ipswich game was in an evening. So
yes,
there's all that stuff going on. But there we are. That's our cup success for the year. Dan, we're pretty much out of time for this week. But did you see this email from the Trust?
I have to admit, I saw there was one and I've not read it.
Well, I think they're definitely trying to be more transparent.
Okay.
Which obviously was a criticism back along, especially with the Tisdale stuff. So he's tried, Nick Hawker, who's the chair of the Trust, has tried to kind of iron out some of the questions that people have been asking.
Okay.
So the big one is around funding for directors of the board of trustees, which was quite insightful. So there's 3 levels of trustee.
Are they Russian oligarchs?
No Russian oligarchs are named. There's 3 kinds of trustee. Trustee number 1, forgive me, I don't know the terms, doesn't get paid anything, but can sell their season ticket seat if they want to, or give it away when they get the box. Okay, so everyone takes it on rota.
I get it.
And if you have to schmooze the other directors, or it's probably quite nice to sit up there, you can, if you want to, give away your season ticket. You don't need a ticket to get there,
I wouldn't go up there if you asked me.
And no one's asking, so you're safe.
Well, that's true.
So they...
And I would.
There you go. News just in. But if they want to, they can sell their season ticket seat. They don't need a ticket to get in, but that would be for charitable benefits. Okay. So it sounds like probably they just give it to their mate for the day so they can get in for free. The second level of trustee, again, it's the same setup. They sometimes get to sit in the box. It's on rota. They might even invite people, so they might be used to schmooze a particular person. They can, if they want to, claim expenses specifically for the work they're able to do. So some of them are, for example, solicitors or lawyers or accountants. Charity Commission rules are you have to offer remuneration up to £7,500 for the year for the job you're doing.
Right.
So if you're a solicitor and you do a piece of legal work, obviously it goes to your solicitor's company's books. You might decide to do it for nothing or to take this £7,500 that goes into your company's books. And Nick Hawker says in his email, some of them choose to take that and some don't, but that's within the rules. So essentially they're doing a lot of work for very little money.
Yeah, I get it. Yep.
Or there's the third level. Now this is interesting, which is 1 or 2 people, which he names as the director and the sporting director. Okay. Now it says, interestingly, that the combination of those 2 roles pays up to £60,000 for the year.
Okay.
I can't work out, and I did a bit of research, but probably not enough. That's Julian Tagg they're talking about there. Whether he's one of those roles or both of those roles, whether he gets half of that money and there's scope for employing a second person for the other half of that money, it's not very clear.
Yeah. Also, up to is strange as well, isn't it? Because what does that mean? Does that depend on how much they do?
I think it depends on who the other... My interpretation is, and maybe a trustee can help us with this if you know the answer, or if anyone else knows the answer. I think my interpretation of this is, because that used to be Perryman.
Yeah.
So I think probably the combination of those 2 roles worked out how much they got paid between them.
Yeah, okay.
So if it's a direct split, that's 30,000 each. If it's, well, actually I only do a day a week as the sporting director, maybe it's more like an 80%, 20%.
I get it, yeah.
So while I fully acknowledge that £60,000 is a lot of money, even if that's going to one person, I suppose comparably between other football clubs, that's not an extortionate amount of money. And I think the suggestion is, and obviously it's really hard, isn't it, to ask someone what they get paid, but the suggestion is it's not some like gravy train.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. That certainly doesn't seem like it, does it?
No.
I mean, that's not loads. I mean,
well,
no one's going to be, no one's jaws hitting the floor when they hear that. Oh my God.
No.
He gets paid $60,000 a year. Like
I'd hope
that's nothing.
That seems reasonable.
It isn't.
To me.
It's actually loads. It's like it's an amount which I'm almost certainly never going to earn in my life. But
yeah,
still, it's not horrifying, is it, by any means?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about what people earn, but I'd imagine that's like the equivalent of like an area manager for a supermarket. It's that kind of money, isn't it? So,
I have no idea.
I mean,
although now you say it, I think I probably could do the job of an area manager for a supermarket.
I don't think it's too late, Dan, if you want to get involved.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
I think I've retired from.
Drop your CV in. all I'm saying is, given what a big deal a football club is, particularly Exeter City, the amount of people that turn out every week, the amount of people they employ, the amount of volunteers they, use, I think, okay, I can see why that's... I can see both sides. I can see where people are like, well, that's a lot of money for someone who earns $15,000 a year, but I also see how that seems reasonable.
But it's definitely not. They're not creaming off the top, are they?
No.
These kind of like the people at the top, and you think at other clubs that probably is happening, especially ones that are being badly run. You'd think there are these kind of vulture kind of type people who don't do very much, who just kind of like are in there and go like, oh, where's this money going? It's like £60,000 to someone they've never heard of. But at least we assume it's Julian Tagg, and we know that far from him doing nothing for the club, he does absolutely loads.
Yeah.
So
he's very visible. He's always there.
Exactly. And so, I mean, and if that's how much he gets paid, then I don't begrudge him that at all, because especially given the amount of time he's been there for, and I don't agree with every single idea that he came up with in that last thing, but he's been massive for us, especially post kind of the wilderness years of like when we were getting taken for an absolute ride.
Yeah.
He's been like, and as much as maybe he's like been slightly at odds with the trust in the past, it's like, I don't know, I think that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah. And of course, the interpretation might mean that actually there's a pot of money set aside for a sporting director, which he's not getting.
Yeah, and maybe that's a possibility for someone when they, if the right person comes along. To what does a sporting director actually do?
Hey, do you know what? I listened to a really interesting podcast by the sporting director at Norwich City.
Okay.
So he kind of oversees everything in terms of the playing side of things. So he has nothing to do with the ground, nothing to do with the facilities. He has everything to do with the team, the manager, the coaches.
Right.
So he directly appoints the manager. This is how it works at Norwich. And he was saying every club's different, but he appoints the manager, talks to the manager in a kind of line management way. So it's
Is it more specific, or is it less specific than a director of football? I guess you wouldn't have both.
Apparently the term's kind of interchangeable.
Okay.
So some clubs might always have used the term. Some bloke might come in, and it is usually blokes, and say like, well, actually, I call myself a director of football. It kind of makes no difference.
Okay.
It's kind of...
I was just wondering whether or not it's something that I could potentially do, and I've come to the conclusion that I definitely can't.
Oh, well,
so.
drop your CV in.
Yeah. I'd no longer like to be considered for the position of sporting director of Exeter City.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
Cancel the email.
Yeah.
That guy is really interesting. He started as a groundsman at Wrexham. So he did like his sports science BTEC.
Yeah.
And while he was doing it, he would coach the under 10s.
Yep.
And worked, his employed job was groundsman at Wrexham. And so he just kind of learnt from the bottom up. And he'd been all over. And then he was a youth director at Liverpool when he ran the academy there. So in a sense, it's like a manager.
Yeah.
I don't mean a football manager. I mean like a business manager. But you have to be like visionary and all that stuff. So I guess I could see why Perriman fitted into that. I don't think we'd ever have someone like that again. If we did ever employ someone, obviously it's a lot of money, because that 60,000 isn't enough to employ that guy from Norwich. Like, he must be on millions.
Oh, exactly, yeah. This is something you've got to share that 60 grand with Caggy.
Yeah, that's right. And, of course, to pay for those advertising boards that light up.
They're not cheap. Well, maybe they're cheaper
maybe that's
than they
instead
used to
of
be
a sporting
with
director.
LEDs.
Maybe we got those boards instead of a sporting director, which I think is a perfectly reasonable
yeah, totally.
investment.
You can look over to that for inspiration, can't you, when you're playing?
Yeah.
Anyway...
So I think that's interesting, and I'm grateful to the Trust for really trying hard to make these changes that people have been asking for.
Oh, definitely. And also just being like, and being like, okay, here it is.
Yeah. So if you haven't had that letter...
although in a way, it's their responsibility too, especially to their kind of shareholders, isn't
Absolutely.
it? So,
but, that's an interesting change and a welcome one.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm grateful to them for working hard on that. If you haven't had that email or you're not part of the Trust, you can look it up on the Trust website. All that stuff's there.
Hey, this is our 20th episode of the season.
Hey!
What have we got planned? Given we've got about 30 seconds left, what have we got for the plan for the big 2-0?
Well, it seems to have happened anyway. I think...
What more do you want?
What more do you want?
I mean, come on.
You got jokes, you got laughs.
Every week we're trudging up here and trying to come up with...
I spend hours on my jokes. So, yeah, well, thanks for being with us, these 20 episodes. I think that means we've hit about 40 in total so far. Maybe we'll do something for the 100th episode. Maybe that'll be the real thing.
No, well, I think maybe we're coming up on a year, aren't we? So that actually will be our actual birthday.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think the end of January was
the beginning of February, innit?
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe for that, we'll, I don't know, have a cake.
Me and you'll have a cake and we'll tell you how delicious it is.
And what we'll do is we'll eat it while we're recording. So you can't taste the cake, but you can hear it sort of, that sticky kind of like someone eating into a microphone. I don't know if that would be nice.
I think we'll all enjoy that. I tell you what,
it won't matter to me because I don't listen to this. So.
Listeners, you could get your own cake and
eat along.
Eat along.
Yeah. Okay.
We can all talk you through it.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of cake are you going to get?
I don't know. One of those chocolate caterpillars.
Oh yeah. All right. Nice. I'm gonna have an apple Danish from Greg's, which is more of a pastry, but whatever.
Okay, I mean, you know, stick a candle in it. It's a cake, isn't it?
Yeah. Thanks for listening. You can get in touch with us, as always, for cake suggestions and more via Twitter at Big Bank Pod, on Facebook, The Big Bang Theory Podcast, and you can email us at, email us, bigbankpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
My name's John.
It is.
Your name's Dan.
Yeah.
You're both my friend and colleague.
It's a weird... we're mixing it up, are we, for this ending bit?
It's
Sorry, I like it. I've ruined it now. It was going so well. Yes.
My name's
Thanks
John.
a lot.
I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Yeah, cheers.
See you soon.